What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Episode number 3, season number 2. And as you see on the screen, we're in the championship, baby. If you missed the last episode or the first episode or whatever, I would recommend to go catch up on it. But the quick recap is after a very weird year number 1, East Fife FC, the mighty East Fife, we went up as champions. Now we're here in the championship. We are, as you see on the screen, projected to finish rock bottom, dead last, 150 to 1 odds to win the title. It's going to be an interesting year. What we're going to do here in the intro is show you everything that we just did. And boy, I think the last 2 nights have just been me in the off season. We played, the whole little like League Cup friendlies. I consider them friendlies. We played all those. It's done. The next day, I think, or 2 days away from now, where we are in the game, is our first league match where we are at home against Queens Park Ranger, which is going to be a tough match. They're, as you see, predicted to finish 5th. It's going to be interesting. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys the off-season signings, show you guys a little bit of what we're building this year, and get right up into it. So, watch that. Wow, isn't that crazy? Wow, cool. You should definitely come over on Twitch where we're going to be streaming a lot. As you see on the screen, the roster is very different. We had 16 people at the end of the last season whose contracts were up. We re-signed a bit, and we signed, I think, 9 new players, and we're not done. I still think I need at least one more at the center back position. Now, let's go ahead and hop into this screen. I think that'll be the easiest way for me to show you guys the new signings, what we're going back with tactically, and how we're going to be lining up this season. So we're going to start at the back, work our way up to the top. It's all here. It's all ready to go. We're going to stick with the Bayview engine, the 4-4-2 diamond that got us promoted last year. It's really solid. You know, it can score a lot when we're winning, but it compacts nicely in defense. For those of you who do not know, this is what it looks like in and out of the formation. A solid 4-4-2 diamond going forward, and a little bit of a 4-1-3-2, I guess kind of a 4-4-2, but a little bit, I guess, narrow on defense. But still, it works because the midfielders, they go out wide and play a little bit of coverage out wide. So, let's go ahead and look at new signing number 1, Toby Aluwayemi. This is a nice young goalkeeper, still only 23. And in goalkeeper years, that's like being an 18-year-old because these guys play forever. He's 6'3", decently 2-footed, which is great. Some good determination, really good physicals, and really good goalkeeping base stats to start out with. As you can see, he's more of a ball-playing keeper. We don't really use a lot of those, but you never know. In the future, we might. He is already good for the championship, has potential to be a good Premier League player, which would be great if we could get that out of him. Bad news is, I was strapped for keeper. This was something that over the 2 real life days that I spent in the offseason, I couldn't find a good keeper. My recommendations, my scouts, they kept giving me Americans. And the problem is with Scotland, it has obviously the Brexit work format, work rules and all that, work permits, right? So especially since we're not in the Prem yet, we have a lot of hard to sign people that are outside of the UK, right? So all the American keepers I was trying to sign, they weren't high enough quality. They obviously weren't regular players for the national team. So we did end up finding Toby, which I'm really happy about. The only thing that I have a knock of is, of course, he doesn't like playing in big matches, which I really hate that con because I tend to believe it's very real. If we're in a game that's going to be challenging for promotion, if we're in like a cup final or something, they can just fade in the spotlight. Anyway, though, his positives, like I said, young, good potential, good determination, and he's got some very good stats. He was a Celtic player that actually came through Tottenham's academy and really never cracked the first team for Celtic, played a lot for their B teams, was on loan to a couple different teams, and they let him go on a free, and we snapped him up. Now, he is one of our highest paid players this season. He's on 130 grand a year, so really hope that he can, prove that worth, and I really think he can. Now, on the left side, you know him, you love him, the star man of the team, Jeremiah White IV, the American 19-year-old wingback who can play on both flanks, can play up going forward. He's also developed. Now, one thing I don't like about FM26, and I really hope they add in, is if we look here, In the previous versions, next to these numbers, it would have like a plus or minus, right? So, like, let's say Jeremiah started with 8 crossing. Now that it's 10, it would say +2. I don't know what the kid started at. And, like, yeah, you have these, but what the hell are those? Like, what? It's just spaghetti. Like, I really can't put my head around what it is. I know he's gotten better. The other night when I wasn't recording, just going through the off season, I compared him now to the episode 1 video, and he has gotten much better. He's a great player, but I wish I could just see, on paper, how much has he gotten better at each stat, if any. So if anybody knows, maybe I'm just missing something, let me know, because I really missed that. But anyway, this is the key player, best player on our team. I believe he is now, he's a leading championship player, has potential to be that prim player that we're looking for, and he's the American, that's the core kind of bedrock of what we're trying to cook here in this save. So he's going to be important. Obviously, he's a very good guy. Last season, he played really well, 5 assists, averaged just under a 7 in League One. So we're really hoping that he can make that leap and grow into doing the same thing back here in the championship. Now over on the right flank, another new signing, another new face, Ben McPherson. 22-year-old Scottish, very, very good player. I think he's going to be a key. So fast, 15 pace, 12 excel, 15 agility. The one thing that scares me a bit at fullback is he only has 5 strength and not the best stamina, especially in the Scottish leagues, which I think are, to me, the Scottish leagues play a lot like, they're very physical, right? There's a lot of strong guys. There's a lot of big guys, especially where we are in the championship now. There's going to be some big guys that are pushing on him, kind of really testing that 5 strength. So I really hope he can hold up. When it comes to his potential, he does have potential. His determination scares me, but again, we're not at the situation where we're looking totally towards the future. I needed a right back, needed somebody that could start day one. We do still have McLeod that we did sign back from last season, but he's going to be more of a rotation player with McPherson taking that starting role. You can see he's a well-rounded guy. He has 11 crossing, 10 dribbling going forward. The crossing is actually better than Jeremiah White on the left side. His marking and tackling are fantastic for how low his strength is. So I think McPherson here is going to be one of the best players on the team, if not the best. And you can tell he is a good championship player with potential to be a prim player. So that's going to be big. Also, I believe he was a Celtic reject. Yes. So a Celtic Academy kid, never played for Celtic, was on loan a couple seasons back in the championship, played 24 matches, was just recently on loan to Patrick Thistle in the championship last season, played 27 matches for him, started every single one of those, had 4 goals, 1 assist, and averaged just under a 6.8. So interesting that he had that many goals. I would assume they were running some formation with him at wingback, but hey, regardless, we have a guy that has championship, knowledge in his boots, and I think he's going to be great. So on to the back line. Another new signing, Vladislav Kalanin, a 6'1" Belarusian national who actually has a senior cap for Belarus. Got him on a free. He was recently released from just clubs out in Belarus, Dynamo Minsk. Played decently for them when it comes to game time, 11 to 13 games over the last few years. Brought him in on trial over the offseason and ended up signing him because we really needed center backs. More importantly, we really needed center backs with athleticism. He's not the biggest, not the strongest. He's 2-footed, 6'1", good pace with 13, good acceleration 10, strength's only 8, jumping reach only 11, but again, we needed that bit of pace to him. He does have 11 when it comes to marking, heading, tackling. He also does have 9 positioning. So he's not the greatest, but I think he's very good, and it helps that he's versatile. He can play on the right back. He can play at midfield and DM if we need it. So I think he's going to be a nice signing overall. Another one that is one of our highest paid players also at $130K a year. But when you're in a pinch, man, sometimes you just got to swing your fence and hope that it hits. Now, this is the position that I will be looking to make one more signing in because next to him on the right side is the short king, Harry McAvoy. We brought him back, baby. The kid who we signed early into the season last year, he played 34 matches for us. Honestly, he played great. He averaged a 6'9" on the back line. He's 5'4", but he's strong. He's quick. He's got the stamina. He can mark you. He can tackle you. He's got jumping reach and heading for being 5'4". I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is what they say. So we're going to let Harry McIvor cook. We're going to see what he can do back there in the back line, but we are going to need a little bit more when it comes back to that back line. The only real person that we have to back him up is Mitchell Robinson, who we brought in on loan from Celtic. And as you can see, he's very smart. He can read the game well. He's got the mentals, the heading, all that good stuff, but his physical is very much so lack. It was another pinch signing. I think we're only paying him, like 45 grand a year for his loan contract. It's nice to have a left-footed center back. It's nice that he's smart and technical, reads the game well, but don't really ever want to play him too much, as he's going to get cooked when it comes to his pace, his strength, really all of it. So anyway, that's the backline and keepers. Now, coming up to the midfield, I think this is where we made our biggest improvements. At the back of the midfield diamond, Thomas Lut, a 22-year-old Belgian who was released from, let's see how I pronounce this, Charleroi. Probably not. But anyway, that's where he was released from. Played a lot for their B team, their youth team. Never made a pro appearance for the first club. So this will be, actually I lied, he made two. I was going to say this will be his first pro club, but regardless, another one that was rejected from his parent club, his boyhood club, all that good stuff. And to us goes the benefits. He's on 140,000. This is our highest paid player. This is somebody that I really splashed all of our cash for. Everybody else, I think we have 4 players over 100 grand. Everyone else is kind of in the 60s to 80 range. A couple are in the 30s and 40s from last year's type of deal, or if they're a backup player. But this kid, I think, is worth the money. Again, 22, great potential, balanced determination, 11 determination, or balanced personality rather, but I think he just has it in him. Another one that doesn't like big matches, which I'm not super enthused with, but we needed midfield. We needed to really upgrade and revamp the midfield, and when we're running 4 midfielders, you need it. And as you can see, I think he's worth it. Very fast when it comes to the D-mid. Strength and stamina, not the best. That's what we're focusing on in training. I'm hoping I can get those close to double digits, or just at least 10, 11 at the very top end would be fantastic. Really good mentals for a 22-year-old. And when it comes to marking and tackling, it's perfect. It's just what I need. And then just enough in the passing to recycle it. So what we had last year at that DM position was the American. William Hoyer played okay. He had a lot of injury problems, didn't really get to develop as quick and as much as Jeremiah White did. He's still going to be in the mix. He's someone that I'm still going to want to play a lot just because of his potential, just because he is a young American, and that's kind of the base of the save, right? Is we want to develop Scottish talent, we want to develop American talent, and we want to do it together to make that the blueprint and the identity of East Fife. So he's still going to get game time, but I think we just need to survive the season. We need to not get relegated, so we needed to upgrade. So that's Thomas Lutt, a very, very fun player I'm excited about. On the left side, we have Jamie Newton, another new signing, another Scottish kid who was released from the Rangers Academy. Well, he was actually released from Nottingham Forest, who signed him from the Rangers Academy. Never has made a performance, or a appearance in any of these, pro first team clubs. He has 2 appearances to his name. No idea what club they're for. So, I guess us, actually, in the League Cup. I can read. I can see things. Anyway, he's a very versatile kid. That's really why I looked at him first. He can play all the way up to striker. He can play 10. He can play all the way up the left side. His natural position's left wing back, but to me, he's kind of more of a midfielder. Now, he's not the greatest, but I really liked him because of that Swiss Army knife ability. He has a bit of more potential at 22, 21 years old. Good determination, good off the ball, really high passing, and good first touch. So I think he's just a nice, solid plug-and-play guy. If we need him to start at midfield, he can. If I need him to cover on the left back, he can. Maybe in a pinch, I need to throw him up at striker or 10, he can. So that's Newton. On the other side, Kyle Turner, who is a stud. Very good all-around midfielder, which we really haven't had. Last season, we had either young midfielders or old midfielders, so they were either young and raw, so they maybe had the physicals, but not the mental ability, not the technical ability, and then we had the 30-up crowded midfield who could read the game well, could make good passes, but they didn't have the legs anymore. This is a guy that is a bit of a do-it-all. Can play 10, can play midfield. He's going to be very important for us. I think we're going to roll him out kind of around the wide midfielder, maybe even just the CM role. But man, the pace, the stamina, the mental ability, solid passing, good first touch, can dribble and can finish. This is going to be a very important player, and he comes with a lot of not a lot of potential. He comes with a lot of background, obviously all in Scotland. Has played all the way up the leagues everywhere but the Prem. So hopefully maybe he can make it to the Prem with us. Last couple seasons been in the championship with Wraith Rovers and Patrick Thistle. Didn't get to play a lot last season, so I think that's why he was happy to leave on a free and come join us where he can actually be appreciated and be a starter. So that's Kyle Turner at the top of the diamond. Is a 37-year-old, I know, but look, he's crazy. I don't think what I need out of my 10 is a lot of dynamic runs, a lot of high pace energy, a lot of high pressing. I need that link. The guy who links the counterattack, gets the ball, whips it over the top, gets the ball, dribbles a bit, and finds a seam and gives it to the strikers or an overlapping fullback. And this guy, Andrew Shinnie, who knows, but I'm going to call him Shiny because I think it's hilarious. This guy is going to be a stud. Slapped on the number 10. He's got the set pieces down. His mentals are great. His technicals are fantastic. The passing, the vision, the first touch, the long shots, the finishing. I think this could be a guy who comfortably gets 15 goal and assist contributions over this entire season. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Hopefully that wasn't a crazy take, but he's been everywhere, has played a lot of Premiership football in his career, has spent a lot of time in England down in the Championship, and I think he brings in a very good vet presence to the locker room. You know, he's balanced personality, but he's got high determination. He's 37. He's done it. He's been there. I think this is a great guy to have in that locker room. And even though it really doesn't matter because it's a video game, it matters to me, damn it. You know, I want to have those old vets in the locker room no matter what. Up top, the strikers, you know him, you love him. The boss, Tommy Goss. I had to bring him back. The guy was a crazy 6'4" beast for us. We had him on loan from a non-athletic. Funny enough, in last season, they're in League 2, and we loaned him up a league. 33 games, 15 goals, 8 assists, a 7.2 match rating. You can't hate on that. I mean, he had an insanely good season, above 20 when it comes to goal and assist contributions, and once his loan was done, so was his contract with his parent club, and we snapped him up on a free. Paying him 40 grand. He's just a squad player, so he's not expecting to be a total starter. But I think for this 4-4-2, where it works so well that we had that target man and we had that channel forward being a little more dynamic, being a little bit more of the pace presser, all that stuff. So Tommy Goss is going to get the start up top when it comes to this season. And next to him, this is the one I think the most excited about. Let's take a look at 18-year-old Gary Nolan, who has changed nationalities over the last few days. Didn't catch that. Okay, 18-year-old Gary Nolan, the striker. We picked him up on a free because he was on a academy club. Take a look. He's two-footed, completely almost two-footed. He has great physicals for being 18, very fast, good stamina, great agility. His mentals, also pretty good for 18, 11 off the ball already, 12 determination, 14 flair for a striker, and 11 composure already. Now, his technicals, they're hit and miss. He's got great technique, 14 technique, 11 heading, which is not, nothing to sneeze at for someone that's only 5'7". Great first touch at 13, and then dribbling and finishing, they're lacking. Only 8 dribbling, 10 finishing. But I think with this system, with the way we work, I think he's going to be good. Now, the cherry on top of why we signed him, as you can see right here, is because he's American. And that's the whole goal of this, baby. He was born in Connecticut, and a second nationality was Ireland. It was Irish, and I guess he flipped that in the last few days. Because like I said, the whole time I've seen him, he's been American. So either way, we know he is American by birth. I would assume his parents, his family, all that stuff are Irish, and he decided just to go ahead and switch it. He's leading for the League One, so he's not yet a championship player, but he's going to be getting championship minutes and starting with us right here in the championship. He does have that Prem potential, which would be insane. He's only on 40K. He wants to be a star player, though, and I'm going to let him be a star player. As you can see, He has one of the best values on the entire roster. He's almost worth $500,000 on the high end. 18-year-old, a lot of potential here. And I think Gary Nolan is going to be somebody that I am very thrilled about. I think and pray that this could be like, one of the first cult heroes of the save, of East Fife. Even if he doesn't stay long, maybe he gets a transfer. Maybe he wants to go to a bigger club, Celtic, a Ranger. Maybe he goes back to the States. Maybe he goes to a championship or League One side in England. Who knows? But I hope for the couple years he's here, he turns up for us and we can really say that guy, that Gary Nolan signing that, we made back in the offseason going into year two, that's the guy. So as you can see, he was playing on Oakwood SC back in America, which in FM and in real life, these are just clubs that are youth teams. It's where the local kids play. They play in all types of different organized tournaments and organized leagues and all that stuff. And the national pool kind of pulls from them. Now, I didn't scout any of the under 21s, under 19s of the American, national teams yet because we don't have the money for that. I think my scouting budget is 40 grand and I'm paying 28 or 30 grand of that to scout the entire of Scotland. He popped up in my scouting recommendations from one of my scouts or one of my coaches or something, and it was just like, a beaming of shining gold. So that was great. That was great. When it comes to the bench, this is where you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. Again, we have William Hoyer, who's going to be the backup D-mid, maybe can come in at midfield, probably not though. Nathan Austin, the number 9 from last season, who's getting there in age, 32. You can see his decline is coming. He is going to be a rotational striker. We do have the youth intake from last year, Drew O'Kane, who I don't want to use a lot. Obviously, he's not that good. He is a League Two standard player now, though, which is great. At 16 years old, that's fantastic. But I think I want him to be like an emergency backup. Maybe give him some game time towards the middle or end of the season, just here and there. The other one will be Alex Jakubiak, who currently just picked up an injury. He's going to miss the first month of the season, maybe a little bit more. He'll be the main rotation guy, potential starter guy here and there with Nathan Austin. He's also going to be the backup number 10, all that good stuff. Another injury is Jess Norrie. Signed him back also after we talked about him at the end of the last episode. He's not amazing, but he played fantastic last year, so I had to bring him back. I just, really wanted to get that guy back. The captain is Andy Monroe still. The crafty center back, you can tell he's losing his legs. He's 33 years old, but he's got the mentals and the technicals, and I think he's still a solid player back there, but not think he's starting quality. We do have Reese Peggy, who we signed back, just a decent fullback that can play a little bit of both sides, mainly the left side, so he'll be a backup option. I'm sure you're sensing a theme right now, right? You're sensing a theme. I spent most of our money, if not all of our money, on the first team, like the first 11 guys. And the drop off from the starting to the rotation guys is pretty vast. As you see on the screen now, Liam Newton, who can play midfield, can play left back, bit of a gadget player, but none of them are particularly that good. Where he looked at Mitchell Robinson. Again, same thing. Mitchell is decent, but he's not good. Another one, Jack Brown, signed just to have a backup 10, backup midfielder. He's a guy. He's a player. This one's actually good. Ewan McLeod, who we had last season, was a great right back for us. Brought him back, but of course McPherson's better. So that's the team. This is what we got right now. Like I said, it was a flurry of signings, tons of new faces. I think at one point I had 20-something people in on trial, just trying to get as many faces in the door as possible so I could get a read on them, get a scout on them, all that stuff. So this is the team heading into 26-27, year number 2 in the championship. It's going to be very interesting to see. Like I showed you guys, we are predicted to finish rock bottom in number 10. I don't think that's the case. The board, funny enough, the board legitimately wants us to not get relegated. I know it just said that they had us as, relegation strugglers, but I promise you, when I accepted my, agreement with this upcoming season, they don't want us to get relegated. So if we get relegated, there's a chance we're on the hot seat, but I don't think that's the case. I'm aiming for 8. I'm aiming for 7. 9 would be, not bad either, but that'll put us in the relegation playoff. There's a chance we overperform. Our team's really solid with a couple nice stars. We just don't have the depth. If games come thick and fast in the rotation, we're going to be struggling. It's not going to look the best when we have to rotate or face injury crisis or things like that. So I think we're going to be in for quite the season. But I'm going to stop yapping. We're going to go ahead and get into game number 1, which, like I told you guys, is at home against Queen's Park, the oldest club in Scotland. Used to be one of the biggest. So we're going to get right into it right here, right now. All right, here we are. Game 1 of year number 2. 2026 season is kicking off now. We are at home. What looks like to be a sold-out crowd. We might have 2,000 people deep at the old Bayview home. And we are in our black and yellow kits against Queen's Park, who are in their white and black hoops. Also, I don't think my camera looks too bad, guys, but I am going to try to get some lighting for when it's not daytime. I have a window behind my computer, screen, so when it's daytime, it looks much better. Nighttime, like now, it's a little bit before midnight. It's a little dark, but, the light's not too bad. I think I do want to get a green screen so I can have some fun little scenes and such, but enough of that. It's game 1. You guys saw the starting 11 that we were going to roll out when I was showing you guys all the signings, so nothing's changed from that. We still got all the boys in there. So far, not a lot cooking for the first 15 minutes. Remember I showed you the preseason odds. Queen's Park was projected to finish 5th. So they're a mid-table club. They've been in the championship, I think, for 3 or 4 years consecutively now. So it's good. It's a good challenge to start off with. Not a title hopeful, but not a relegation battler. Good ball from Shiny. Gives it to Nolan, who can't finish. Okay, so Nolan looks nothing like his picture. So might have to change that picture here in a little bit. It looked like he was a bit tan with like a high top, and the high top was blonde. So might have to make his picture look a little bit more realistic, as Tommy Goss almost gets his head on a corner. Jerry Nolan from the outside tried to go crazy with it. He hit the top bar. That was a good look, though. I'm not too mad at that. If the American-Irish kid is cooking like that, then, we got something to work for. Yeah, look, he's tan with like a buzz cut. It looks like it's, brown towards the bottom, like where the fade is, but it's blonde up top. So I'm definitely going to have to get a picture that resembles him a bit more. I'm using some new-gen face generator that kind of just generates all regions in like a batch. So I guess it didn't really read his skin tone or hair the best. But hey, man, not going to complain when it regenerates 20,000, new gens by itself in about 5 minutes. Jeremiah White is cooking the American. Whip it up. Tommy Goss. That's what he does, boys. That's why we signed him back. That's why you signed back the big boy. They said he couldn't do it in League One. He did it. They said he can't do it in the championship, can he? Match day 1 at home in front of the East. Oh, my God, in front of the faithful. That was a really good ball. Tommy Goss even had to wind his leg up a little bit behind him and smack it in. Great goal to start off the campaign for this year. 21 minutes in, we take a 1-0 lead. That was a really good goal. I like that. All right, so far on paper, we're looking good. We're controlling the possession. We're leading on shots, leading on XG. Corners are even. Honestly, we haven't seen too many highlights from them as I speak. Of course, they're going to probably have a crazy one. All right. Ooh, okay. We're getting cooked a bit. I'm hoping in transition we can kind of hold up just because our midfield is a bit quicker than last. That's a penalty. Towards the end of the season, when we played those last 5 matches together and, did all the highlights and such, we gave up like 3 penalties in 5 matches. So let's hope that's not a thing. As Carr steps up, takes a penalty. The new signing, Toby, can't stop it, guesses wrong, and Mackenzie Carse levels it back up in the 32nd. All right. Bad penalty. I don't even remember who gave it up, but he took it calm, went right. Toby went left. That's about all it is. So it looks like it's going to be 1-1 head into halftime. Yikes, I gotta stop talking. Every time I say something that I think might be right, they get a highlight. As now Reed's got the ball out left, beats our new right back. Jeremiah gets his head on it, gets it out for now, but they're recycling it back, trying to whip it back in. Henderson, the danger man, blows right past Jeremiah White, and they got numbers in the box, but gee God, he doesn't even need it. Jay Henderson just cooked our best defender on the left, dribbled baseline, and then just absolutely smoked one, I think, far post. Watch. Goes right past Jeremiah White, has numbers in the box, says, nah, don't need it, and then just boots one near post right by Toby. 2-1 now. We've already seen a lot of drama in the first 30 minutes, considering we were up. Oh my God, all those goals were in the span of 15 minutes. Okay, now I just want to go into halftime. Now let's just get the halftime, have a little bit of, words for the boys, and hopefully we can get back out, rescue a draw. I think if you offered me a draw to start the championship, I would be happy with that, especially to start out year number 2 when I thought we'd be back in League 1 trying to get our promotion this season. All right, let's get back out there. Second half starting. All right, that was interesting. A penalty and a world-class effort when it comes to the championship. I don't know how you could get much world-class than that. All right, coming up on the 60-minute mark. Nothing going. Might have to start looking for some subs. A couple people not playing the best. Ben McPherson not having the greatest debut, which is not what you want to see from somebody I thought might have been one of our best players. So that's not great. All of the midfield is either anxious or frustrated. Also not what you want to see. We're going to put in McLeod. Last year's consistent boy. We're going to look for him to do it again. Man, we got to replace some of these midfielders. I don't know why they are just not having it. I'm going to move Lutt up. I'm going to put Hoyer back at the 6. And we're going to leave it for now. I don't want to make the change at 10, even though he's having a terrible game. Yeah, I'm not ready to do that yet. Maybe coming up now, because it's been 10 minutes of nothing again. Come on, boys. Let's get a draw back. Let's do something. The first game of last year we played together, we lost 2-0. I think. Maybe 3. I hope not. All right, well, it looks like we're going to be making a change. But to who is the question? Because, remember, this is where our problems are. We don't have the talent down deep. We just really don't. I can't put Austin up. Jakubiak's hurt. He'd be the real backup 10, but he can't. I should probably pause the game while I'm making subs, huh? Just in case something happens. Jack Brown scares me, man. I don't ever want to play that guy unless I have to, really. I think we're going to move Newton up. We're going to put, off the bench. Wow, there's 2 Newtons. We're going to put Jamie Newton up at the 10, Liam Newton over on the other midfield, and see if some fresh legs can help us rescue a draw. Haven't seen much from the American-Irish Gary Nolan besides the first, 5 minutes he was everywhere. I think he had 2 shot attempts literally in the first 10 minutes, and one of them would have been insane if he hit that. Come on, boys. Nothing going? Wrapping up into the 90? Nothing. I think we had 6 or 7 shots at halftime, and we're going to finish the game with 9. And all the action comes quick between the 21st and the 35th minute in the game. Our star man was Jeremiah White with his lovely assist. All in all, obviously we know where our problems are. We don't have depth when it comes to substitutions to try to make a difference. We don't have much. I think our overall quality in the starting 11 isn't bad. I think I would love a new center back. I think I would obviously like a better, maybe 1 or 2 midfielders. And we're probably going to start having to look for loans. I think I'm going to try to get in one more starting level center back on a free transfer. We'll sign him to an actual contract. And then I would like to probably bring in 2, maybe 3 players on loan to kind of just fill in as depth pieces. So that's the plan. I think what we're going to do to finish out this first episode is I'm probably going to finish the month. So I'm probably going to play these next 4 games. We'll probably do a little sports desk update at the end of the video. And what we will do is come back. We'll watch all the highlights together. and then we will probably sign off at the end of episode 1. I think I'm probably going to play these next couple games on stream on Friday, the 14th, which is probably going to be after this comes out. But hey, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So season 1's going to be off to a start. Already a first loss, 2-1, but we got a whole season ahead of us, boys. So let's see how it goes when the sports desk comes in with the commentator version of Joey Kannoli. I'll see you guys there in a second. You already know the vibes, boys. Welcome back to the Kannoli Sports Desk Network. Match number 2, away at Avalanche, 26-minute action. We are on our feet, trailing back, and sadly, Ross McGregor absolutely smacks and smokes a piss missile right across the face of the net. Toby had no chance of saving it, but don't fret, don't fear. East Fife is now back on the attack. 64th minute, Vladislav sitting on the ball, aura farming. Let's all just be witnesses of that real quick. Jeremiah White loses the ball, have no fear, wins it back, gives it to his fellow American Hoyer, who launches it over the top to Nate, the great Austin off the bench, who ties us up 1-1, 65th minute action. Let's see if we can rescue a win, and our first win in the championship in a very long time. As now 76-minute action, we whip a dangerous ball into the box. It gets parried out, and the American Jeremiah White, the fourth, puts us in the lead 2-1 in the 76th. Now, let's see if we can make sure we get out of here with all 3 points, put the final nail into the coffin as we are playing nice and safe. The new signing Lutt, which went into the box, just gets saved outside of the reach of Nathan Austin's head. Now, Monroe looking to start a counterattack. Not much going from it now as we rescue it again. William Hoyer, it goes back. This is a tense moment late in stoppage time, but Jeremiah White, the man of the game, making it happen. Nate Austin gets it back to Jeremiah White, who now dribbles all the way out wide, whips it back up to Austin, who slots it across the face, and the new signing, the 18-year-old American Jerry Nolan with a G, puts the statement W on our first 3 points in the championship in over a decade. So match number 2, we get our first 3 points of the season. We're sitting on 4 points total, and now we go to game day 3. We are at home against Wraith Rovers. We're in our white kits. Wraith is in the blue kits. Early on action here in the 5th minute as Ben McPherson makes a good tackle, tries to recover and get it back, and he absolutely gets his ankles taken by Mofat, who dribbles it all the way in, smokes it right past Toby as the Wraith Rovers take an early 1-0 lead, and we can't get much back in this game, but we go to 80th minute drama as Wraith Rover score a goal of the season candidate, an absolute insane own goal, like Rowe had money on the line and is point shaving. And we get out of here with a very lucky 1-1 draw, as we couldn't get a lot happening in this game. The stats aren't there, but the 1-1 is all that matters. Now we go to match day 4 as we are away at Airdrieonians. We are playing the ball back and forth. Vladislav over the top to Nathan Austin, who has been on fire. The old man, pushing 33 years old, who's been with us for a long time, our vice captain. He's been getting starts lately because of his form. And new signing Vladislav from center back has a great assist over the top. Now, 56th minute action, up 1-0, looking to keep that lead and pile on some more as Ewan McLeod has the ball on the right, gives it over to Turner, who gives it right back to McLeod, who sends it, dangerous ball across the middle, a scrambled effort, and the new boy, the 18-year-old American, Jerry Nolan with a G, nets his second goal of the season. Now 62nd minute action, we're looking to add even more to our 2-0 lead as it goes back out to Nolan, who whips it back to Jeremiah White, who puts in a great cross, almost finds the head of Nathan Austin, but the keeper comes up, collects it, looks to start a counterattack for the Airdrieonians and tries to get a goal back. He clears it way out wide, and it's going right back to us. The short king McLeod gets it. The new number 10, Shinny, Austin gives it back. Gary Nolan looking for his brace, and he gets it. His third goal of the season, second goal of the game. 3-0 up, 76 minute now. We are looking for a 4-0 statement win as Shinny whips it across. Cool as you like, easy as you like. Nathan Austin puts it in 4-0, and the boys are rolling to start the first 5 matches of this young season. As you see, statement win, 4-0, Gary Nolan, new signing, potentially signing of the season. Back to you, Joey Kannoli. All right, so after all those highlights, after the first 5 games of the second season, first season of the championship, we're sitting in 5th. I'm not too mad about it at all. 2 wins and a draw with 2 losses through our first 5. If you offered me that, I take it all day long, baby. All day long. So that's going to do it for the end of this first episode of this first season. I believe this is episode 4 now. And as you see, there we are. Again, the Leagues Cup, we didn't really try a ton in. We still had a team full of trial players that couldn't play. We kind of treated those as friendlies. Didn't have a long off season, so we didn't have a lot of friendlies. But there we are. So we are sitting in early September. I'm probably going to play September, October, maybe even November off YouTube or off cam. I'll probably be playing a lot of those on stream. We did stream these last 4 games, so if you want to see all 4 of them in full action, the VOD's up. So if you have any interest, you can click in the description below. Go check out the Twitch channel, watch those games in full. They were very competitive games, as you saw from the clips at the sports desk. You know, they were good. The team's looking good. Really still need to get in another center back and a midfielder, so that'll be what I'm working on also. But yeah, really enjoying the series, really enjoying the streams, having a lot of fun with it since I busted out the old webcam, you know, making some nice little, the sports desk segment, you know, stupid stuff like that, have some fun little goal sounds on the soundboard. It's been a blast so far playing. So I just wanted to thank you guys again that have been watching and liking the content. And if you got any questions below or any recommendations or things you want to see more of, as always, feel free to drop it below. But I will see you guys back here with the next episode or over on the Twitch. So I'll see you guys then. Everybody take care.